How we doing there, everybody? Mr. Volpe here, checking in with you guys at the start of our fourth week of the term. So after this week, we will have completed a quarter of the entire term, and fittingly, we have a capstone assignment, an analysis essay, comparative analysis essay, wherein you're going to select two of the stories that we read over the short fiction unit, starting all the way from the Chopin piece, The Story of an Hour, the Jack London piece, To Build a Fire. We had Miss Brill, we had Araby, we had The Yellow Wallpaper, Hills Like White Elephants. So what we need to do, and you'll see the assignment posted, Literary Analysis Essay 1, you need to find some linkage between the two stories. That's the comparison. Also, I would discuss ways in which the stories diverge or contrast with one another. I have an example thesis statement that I gave you guys on the assignment explanation. I think my examples were Hills Like White Elephants and The Yellow Wallpaper, and the literary element I'm discussing, or elements I should say, are point of view and character. So in my paper, I'm going to discuss both of the stories in terms of the points at which they intersect with regard to character and point of view, and the points at which they diverge or contrast with one another regarding point of view and characterization. So there's I've given you guys a link to the Purdue OWL resource on formatting for MLA essays. You'll see that sample has a heading at the upper left-hand corner, which follows your name, my name, the course name, the date, and under that, centered is the title. Upper right hand of each page is your last name and the corresponding page number. 12-point Times New Roman, double-spaced. Make sure to indent your paragraphs. Essay should be about 2 pages long, 2 tight pages long. That's about 4 to 5 paragraphs, let's say. An intro, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The introduction, I would start in general terms, just kind of unpacking your topic as a way to introduce this to your thesis statement, which should be at the last as the last sentence of your introduction. It's where you're stating your claim and giving a reason why your claim is what it is. All right. So when I'm talking about character and point of view with the short stories I mentioned earlier, I need to provide reason why I think that the point of view is indicative of the characterization in those stories, or that the point of view is complementary to the characterization taking place in those two stories. And that I'm going to be using textual details from the stories themselves and my own analytical points, things that I notice, my observations. And I'm going to be writing an essay incorporating sources with in-text citations. Just one source, really. You only need your story. You don't need to consult any secondary sources for this. So, you all have taken 1101. We're talking about the same format for our papers in 1102 as well in that regard. So that paper is due on Sunday. That is the 2nd of February. That's going to be 75 points. So, the highest point total thus far in our assignments. We have 2 of those analysis essays. We'll have another one at the end of our poetry unit. And then our final essay will be on the play we're going to read. That is the one at the end of the term. So other than that, there is a journal assignment to complete by Friday, the 31st of January. This is our typical engagement assignment. We'll either have a discussion forum or a journal on Fridays. due by Friday. And this time for the journal, quite simply, I would just like to hear your thoughts on what story of the ones we read and talked about in our unit. Which one do you enjoy the most, and which one do you enjoy the least? And some details as to why you've chosen the stories you've chosen. If I had to give mine off the bat, my favorite is Araby. I've always loved that story. The kind of over the top anguish that the narrator experiences, at the disappointment he feels at the end of the story, always resonated with me, and I just love that story so much. So for that one in my journal, I could talk about, relating to the character, perhaps. Least favorite. Maybe Story of an Hour, even though it's a very clever story and I do like it. Perhaps at this point, I think maybe it's too clever for its own good. That's probably not a very fair criticism of it, but maybe I'm just tired of that story. I can't quite put my finger on why. Maybe I need it to be a little longer and fleshed out a little bit more, but that would defeat the whole purpose of the story. So I don't really have a good option that I could choose for my least favorite, but certainly Araby by James Joyce would be my favorite. So make sure you are detailing thoroughly your thoughts on all assignments, journals, discussions, analysis assignments, essays, etc. To that point, too, I would strongly advise you all to be ethical in your writing in terms of AI and ChatGPT. Of course, using those tools to generate writing and submitting that as your own is fraudulent. So, and I don't really care what a chatbot has to say anyway. I could do that on my own, So just make sure, and I think we're, for the most part, doing a good job. And if you ever feel that, I've sort of flagged you for suspicion of AI usage, or our plagiarism checker has registered rather high for probability that you plagiarized, and you didn't actually plagiarize, just let me know, kind of give the statement of authenticity to your submission, and I'll consider it. But again, there are very telltale kind of red flag signs of an AI submission that are just so easily detected. I would strongly advise against it, of course, because that's academic dishonesty. So if you ever have any concerns about that, or maybe you've experienced this in other classes, just talk to me about it. Again, we're getting used to your writing at this point, having read, a handful of assignments so far. So the more acquainted I get with your writing, the better judge I'll be in terms of, oh, this is most assuredly AI, versus, no, this is the student's voice and style. So just want to make you guys aware of that. Mind your P's and Q's, cross your T's, dot your I's with being ethical and having integrity with your writing. All right, so that is what we have this week. Our first analysis essay due by Sunday, February 2nd, and our journal commenting on your favorite and least favorite stories from the short fiction unit. After this week, we move on to poetry, our second literary form after short fiction. So with that, I will sign off, everyone. We'll continue grading your assignments due by the end of the week. I think you guys had your assignment on talking about the stories you were going to use for your essay. So I'll be grading that this week. Your discussion form has been graded and returned. So anything you need, anything further, just shoot me an email. And I wish you a good week. Peace. Till next time.